Alright, we're live. If you hear my kids in the background, they in there being loud. I don't know what they're doing, but man, I'm sorry I missed you guys last night. It's been a hectic week trying to get back to work. A lot of things to keep up with, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts in my world this week. Unfortunately, but hey, it's Friday night. Here we are. We're going to talk some fishing, answer some questions. Getting ready to get back at it full time every single day. Here we go. Got a bag of goodies for y'all back here. What's up, Blake Horton, J Laugh, Fishing Freak, Gomez. Usual characters showing up tonight. So for top 5 baits, I really don't have them because I really haven't been back on the water yet. That will change as of tomorrow, so we'll be back on our normal schedule next week. I appreciate you guys' patience through my hiatus this end of summer time period. But you guys may have seen, I think a couple of you guys probably watched Monday's video. Maybe might have watched a few of you might have watched that video on Monday where we caught 100 pounds of fish. Hey, I'm going to tell you something. As far as I know, no matter what happens the rest of my life, if I don't get to fish anymore starting tomorrow, I will forever be part of, myself, Heath Taylor, and Chris Blackman will forever be the first ones that have ever caught 100 pounds of fish in one day on camera, in one boat. We'll always be the first ones that did that. That's a pretty cool feeling. But we're going to talk about the color selection on the Magic bait that handled all that. I got a bunch of different colors I'm going to show you guys of, the Magnum crawlers right here. A bunch of Magnum crawlers. So we're going to look at those colors tonight. Plus, of course, we're going to do the giveaways tonight. I've got to get my computer down here so we can do that. We're going to do the comment giveaways on those. And, yeah, answer all your questions and talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. So, shoot them in there anytime y'all are ready. Get this up and running here. Somebody says, I want all the worms, right? Well, we're going to find out. How do I set a hook on a shaky head? Well, on the shaky head that I'm using from 6 Sense Lures, okay, on that particular shaky head, I set it as hard as I can because it has a 7/0 hook. Now, there are shaky heads, finesse shaky heads, that I will not set the hook that hard on. But on that individual bait, that individual shaky head, I swing it as hard as I can swing it, guys. It's got a 7/0 hook, so that's the deal. Oh, Big Perm. What up, Big Perm? I mean, Big Worm? No, I'm not smoking your stuff, Big Perm. Yeah, old Big Perm wasn't playing with them, I guarantee you, boys. Let's see. What 6 Sense rod is the best all-around rod? To do the most amount of techniques, I like the 7.5 heavy with the moderate tip. That moderate tip is the deal in that. So, you know, it's 7.5, it's heavy, it's a big, long, heavy action rod, but it's got enough tip that you can throw some really light stuff on there if you're good at casting. You could even throw like a wacky worm on there if you're real good at casting. So that is my favorite multi-purpose rod in 6 Sense Lux line. Good question, J Laugh. Where my money at? When you do get a bite on that shaky head, what? When you do get a bit on that shaky head, so you do consider it a pattern. I don't know what that means. I can't really interpret that one. Somebody said they picked up some mag crawls yesterday. We appreciate that for sure. Thank you very much. You guys are the best. Like I always say, don't have the biggest audience. Appreciate your patience tonight. I'm getting the stuff set up to do the giveaways. Bear with me just a second here. We will get it going. What y'all think about the map study video? Did y'all like that? Let's see here. Oh, I gotta open these comments up. Hang on just a second, guys. Sorry. Is that hump at Long Branch Creek on east side of Fork toward 515 productive right now? I don't know. I'll tell you tomorrow because I haven't been out there in so long. But I will tell you a lot. I think a lot of the offshore stuff is kind of starting to fizzle out a little bit. It's becoming more of a there's more shallow water bite going on. The lake's been turning over a little bit. This is stuff that I'm hearing, not stuff that I've seen myself, but stuff that I've been told and been hearing about. So I don't know. I know that tomorrow as I start exploring, I will be looking shallow first myself. So, okay, we got all those comments up. Appreciate you, BJ Harris. Like the map vid. I'm glad y'all liked it. 734, 735 Dobbins for the shaky head. For that big shaky head with the 7/0 hook, I'm going to go 735. I do like 734 though. That's a good rod. Dobbins makes good rods. I got not a single thing bad to say about Dobbins rods. They make a phenomenal product. Well, Instagram is wanting to be hard-headed. We got to figure that out. Man, I'm sorry. I should have done all this stuff before we started. I didn't even think about it. Okay, so we'll have to do the Instagram giveaway. Let's go ahead and do some giveaways. Y'all want to do some giveaways? What about line size? I'm using 20-pound fluorocarbon on those shaky heads. Let's do some giveaways. We'll do Facebook first. So what I need from you guys, and just so you know, I really prefer a number that's closer to the beginning or the end than one right in the middle, because I don't want to count out 100 and something comments. But we got 192 comments on the Facebook post of the video from Monday. So give me a number between 1 and 192. First number that pops up, that's one we're going with. Let's go. Where's a good place on Fork to pick up some 6 cents? Lake Fork Marina doesn't carry any. Oak Ridge Marina has some. You're better off. Number 3. Perfect. Number 3. Number 3 is going to be Lane or Lance Cole. Oh, well, he didn't. He didn't comment the Smash Tech custom bait. See, that's why you got to listen. Martin Resek. Boy, that's a hard one. Martin Resek. R-E-J-C-E-K. Martin, text me your address and I will have some Magnum crawlers shipped to your house. Martin, R-E-J-C-E-K. Martin Resek. All right, let's do YouTube, boys. Let's see here. We got 259 comments on YouTube. Let me get all of them opened up and viewable. Somebody give me a number between 1 and 259. The next number after the Congrats Martin comment will be the YouTube number, 12. Number 12. All right. Let's see what number 12 is. James Ireland. James Ireland, text me your address and I will ship some big perms to your door. By the way, text me at 903-519-1542. All right, got the giveaways done. Let's talk about the colors. Oh, we got 44 comments on Instagram, so give me a number between, give me one more number after Sam Taylor 53, one more number between 1 and 44, and we'll give that away on Instagram, and I will notify you via Instagram after I'm done with the live stream. Number two. The number 2 comment on Instagram is going to get some too. All right, so let's talk about these colors here. All right, so the Magnum Crawler is a 9-inch. It's like just short of 9 inches. I think it's 8.75 or something like that. But we're going to have, you know, several different colors here. The one that we used the day of that show was green pumpkin. Also got a watermelon seed right here, so you guys can see that watermelon seed. I'm a big fan of that one on Shaky Head. I'm not sure what we're calling this one. I forgot. Heath told me. But what this is, it's kind of like watermelon / green pumpkin with blue flake in it. I don't know how well. There you go. You can kind of see it there. So watermelon and green pumpkin, half and half, laminate with blue flake in it. Kind of an Okeechobee type color, right? This one is blue fleck. Everybody knows blue fleck. Kind of dark purple, almost black worm with blue flake in it. That's an old school traditional worm color, blue fleck. We'll save that one for last. Red shad. Old red shad. Everybody knows old red shad. That's a good old worm color right there. We got watermelon red, which I think everybody knows watermelon red. Of course, we have plum apple, which this might be the very best color of all of them in the summertime, especially on Fork. It's a reddish colored worm with green and blue flake, old plum apple. All right, so this is a color that I actually had Heath make right here, I believe. Yep, this is the color I had Heath make. This was my 10-inch worm, all that stuff. I've always fished this color. It's been my favorite color. I don't ever talk about it, but this is my favorite deep water big worm color, and it is June bug with red flake added into it. Old June bug red. Right there. Bill Dance said if it's summertime, it better have blue in it. Well, probably on his private pond, he could catch them on blue, I'm sure. Yep, June bug red is the color. So, all right, guys, if y'all had questions that I missed, please drop them in again. We're getting lots of comments. And I'm having a hard time keeping up because there's a bunch of you guys participating tonight, which I love. Heath Taylor's in the house talking about Smash Tech Bait, said goat legger. Oh, goat legger. Heath once told me that I could catch 1,000,000 bass. But if I ever licked one goat, I'd be a goat licker forever. And so, goat licker, when you hear me or Heath say goat licker, it's an inside joke. But there you go. There's the story behind it. Bill Dance only fishes high-pressured city ponds. Glass or graphite for cranking. So for me, somebody asked glass or graphite for cranking. I honestly prefer graphite. My deal is that helps me feel more. I can get the forgiveness of glass by getting a more limber rod. Like, everybody's like, oh, glass, you got that limberness you need for a crankbait. It'll absorb that strike and you play them better. It's got more bend to it. How about you just buy a lighter action graphite rod, then you get the feel and you get the forgiveness. My personal way of doing it. Not saying it's the glass guys are wrong, because there's a lot of really good fishermen that use glass. Yeah, we all have gas, though. I mean, that's just a fact of life. Ask my wife. What would be my go-to color for late summer fishing? Well, we smoked them on the green pumpkin, so it's hard to argue that. But the way they were biting, I don't think it would have mattered. The June bug red is my personal go-to for deep water big worms. To me, it doesn't even matter what time of year it is. I love the June bug red flake. It's always been kind of a personal favorite of mine. But plum apple is really good throughout the summer. A lot of it's going to depend on your personal lake and what's going on there, what they're eating, stuff like that. So I'll tell you this, guys. To me, color is the least important decision you make when you're picking a bait. I think any of these colors, if we'd have thrown any of those colors on Monticello that day, we'd have caught the fish basically the same way. Might had a little bit of bite difference one way or the other, but there wouldn't have been much difference in the fish we caught no matter which one of those colors we picked up, I don't personally believe. Do I dip the tail and dye? We were on the green pumpkin one. I was dipping the tail in chartreuse dye that day. Not always, but we do. What's my favorite lake in Texas besides Lake Fork? I can't say because it's really, really small, and you guys would destroy it if I told you because it's such a small lake. Favorite major lake in Texas besides Fork is 100% Toledo Bend. Toledo Bend is my next favorite. Do I know if the dock bite on Fork has been good, and does it matter the depth? Guys, I'm telling you, I don't know much about what's been going on at Lake Fork the last couple of weeks just because I haven't been out there. I know that through talking to some guys that the fish have a lot of fish have transitioned shallow and got scattered. It's a little bit more pick them up here, pick them up there, but that's kind of my deal. So I'm excited to get back out there. I tend to excel a little bit more in that situation than most do versus some of them other guys are really good when they get grouped up out deep. I like to think I can catch them fairly good when they're grouped up out deep, but I tend to excel over others when they get scattered and get shallow. So I think that's kind of what's going on. I would think that the dock bite would just get better in that situation, would be my guess. What's the best month to catch a giant at Fork? Probably March. Historically, March is the best month. Just over the years, I always tend to catch a giant or two every year in May, though. We always catch 1 or 2 10-pounders, it seems like, every year or bigger in May. It's really weird. So I think any of those spring months, you just can't go wrong with all them giants being up shallow the way they are, being exposed, easier to get to. I think any time in March, April, or May is just as likely as the other. What is a lake turnover? A lake turnover. So as the summer goes on and the surface temps get hotter, the water underneath them is cooler. Well, as the surface temps decline, at some point, the surface temps are more volatile. They change more. The temperature on the surface goes up and down more so than the deepest water. Everybody understands that. So as the surface temps decline, at some point they're going to equal out with these bottom temps and even get colder. And when this temperature up here gets cooler by 1 degree than this temperature down here, well, cold water sinks. So as cold water sinks, it goes, and everything that's in this oxygen depleted water below the thermocline also sets up throughout the summer where once you get to a certain depth, there's not much oxygen in the water, sometimes no oxygen in the water on your thermocline. That's what's showing up, that fuzzy haze on the bottom of your graph. Well, that water's got all that junk mixed up in it, that bad water with no oxygen. It's got muck and nastiness. Well, when this water sinks below it and that water comes up, it brings all that crud up with it. And that's where you'll see the dirty water and the floating debris and different kinds of stuff. And when that happens, the oxygen level throughout the lake goes down because all that water that had no oxygen just mixed with all that water that had oxygen. So the average oxygen level depletes in the lake. The only water that has a lot of oxygen is that shallow stuff where the lake doesn't have enough room to turn over. So that's why the fish tend to go shallow a lot when it's turning over. So, hope that explains it to you. That's kind of what it is. The fish get a little bit of a funky feeling. They don't have a lot of oxygen content. They don't feel good. It's almost like they're sick. So they don't bite as aggressively. You got. I like a lot of hard thumping crankbaits. I like a chatterbait. I like things that wiggle and cause them to, where they're not necessarily wanting to eat, but man, when that vibrating thing comes by, they can't help but lunge at it and react to it a little bit. That's kind of how I handle it. And traditionally, I've had fairly good success compared to some others in the turnover. What is the difference, if any, between the said worm and a finesse style? I don't know. I don't understand that question. Need some fresh YLFG merch. Man, I'm trying to get to that, guys. I've had so much going on this year. There's a lot of stuff that I'm working on coming out next year and trying to get all that stuff taken care of and behind me. And once I do, we will be doing apparel. I appreciate your patience on that. It's coming. It's a little bit down the road. We haven't even got orders established yet or anything like that. But I am going to do some merchandise. We're going to try and do shirts for sure. We're going to try and do hoodies again. We're going to do hats. We still do have a few of the old hoodies left that are sitting over here, that you guys can probably see in the background. Yeah, chatterbait. Chatterbait during turnover is good. I like chatterbaits and shallow diving crankbaits that vibrate a lot, have a lot of thump to them, a lot of wiggle. Where is ZW? ZW is at his house in Rowlett. I don't know what Z. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Had a little signal issue, as we usually do out here in the woods of Deep East Texas. But somebody asked about the ramp at Monticello. Man, it's right on the borderline on getting a double axle big boat in there. Offloading is not a big deal because you can pull your trailer up over that drop off. But when you're loading, you got to be careful. If you get your wheels down behind that drop off and you put your boat on there, your boat ain't coming out. So you got to be real careful at that ramp. It's very sketchy right now. Very sketchy. What shaky head rod is good? I'm currently using a 6/8 medium heavy fast. Is that good? That is fine. That rod is fine for a normal shaky head. We're throwing on that big perm a big 5/8 ounce. That's almost 3/4 ounces. 7/0 hook, shaky head. For that, I like the same rod that I throw my big jigs on, which for me is a 7.5 extra heavy with the fast action. It's a pretty big meat stick of a rod. It'll drive a hook home for sure. To me, when it all depends on the hook. If the shaky head I'm throwing has a 7/0 hook, I'm throwing a big rod. If the shaky head I'm throwing has a light wire hook, I'm gonna throw a lighter rod like what you are with a 6/8 medium heavy. Thoughts on Bass Fest coming to Fork in 2019? Get ready to see records broken again. It's like in the country, it'll prove it again. They hit it really good when Keith Combs fished it. They caught more fish in 3 days than any tournament's ever caught. Falcon, Gunnersville. All right, we're back. Sorry. So, thoughts on Texas Bass Fest coming back to Fork. So, when it was the Toyota Texas Bass Classic, Keith Combs, they hit it right. They caught 110 pounds of bass in 3 days. Stetson Blaylock finished second. He had over 100 pounds in 3 days as well. Guys, that's never been done. The big boys have only fished Fork. The Elite Series guys, those type of guys have only fished Fork a few times throughout history in a tournament. They fished Gunnersville, Falcon, all these other great Okeechobee, phenomenal fisheries all the time. And still, nobody has ever caught 110 pounds in 3 days on any of those lakes. Lake Fork's the greatest lake there's ever been. When you can weigh all your slot fish in the boat like they do, man, it's going to show out. Even the next year, the second year we had flooding, horrible. I mean, we had like a edge of a hurricane coming through. The next year, it still took 90-something pounds in 3 days. Like, Lake Fork is more special than we even realize, boys. And when them big boys that are the best in the world get on it, it's going to show what it is. I mean, there's a reason why a hack like me can go out there and catch 20, 30-pound bags all the time. I ain't that good. Am I going to be Marshall? No, I'm not going to be a Marshall. I have no desire to be a Marshall. Where am I getting 5/8 out jig heads with 7/0 hook? I'm ordering them from 6centsfishing.com, where you can punch in the Your Lake Fork Guide promo code on the checkout screen and get a 10% discount on all orders. T-Lo. You know where I'm getting them, T-Lo. 6centsfishing.com. 6 Cents makes the shaky heads I'm using. They make all sizes, too. They make smaller ones. And their heads and their hooks are phenomenal in all their sizes. What should I use for fishing a lake in Kentucky that I don't know anything about? I love using a jig, but these lakes is in Kentucky, and I'll be fishing these tourneys in September to December. I think in Kentucky, from September to December, a jig might be the very best thing you could use, honestly. I mean, from a finesse jig to a big jig, depending on the clarity of the lake, the structure, the cover, all that. It's hard for me to tell you what to use when I don't know anything about the lake other than it's in Kentucky. It could be, in Kentucky, it could be a mountain lake with sheer bluff walls. It could be a lowland reservoir that's a river-type fishery. There's a lot of variables there that I don't know. But I will say this, in the fall of the year, especially where it's a little bit colder than it is here, so fall gets here earlier, from September to December, I think a jig from finesse to big jig, somewhere a jig can handle all that. And that probably is the best thing you could throw because jigs catch big fish. A jerkbait is another great option if it's got clear water. I don't like jerkbait fishing in dirty water. Green River Lake and Lake Cumberland. I will tell you this. My buddy Andrew Grills, he's from Kentucky. I know he fished Lake Cumberland. I know that boy throws swim baits religiously. I know some of the things that he's done on Kentucky lakes. He used to, if you want to swing for the fence, pick you up, go think about some big swim bait fishing now if you want to swing for the fence. I know that Andrew used to catch them on big swim baits up there in Kentucky. But he's a beast with big swim baits, to be fair. He's one of the best in the world with the big swim bait in his hand. So there's that. The guy who was asking about the shaky head rod said he's using big shaky heads, 1/2 ounce or bigger. I would step up your rod, especially if your hook has a bigger wire in it. I would go to a bigger, stouter rod, me personally. All right, guys, if you had a question that I didn't answer, please drop it in again. Sometimes these comments go so fast that I don't get a chance to catch all your questions in time. But, yeah. So that's that, man. I'm excited to get back on the water. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have a shallow water crankbait, a chatterbait, a wacky worm, either a frog or a buzzbait 1. And a lipless crankbait. Those are the 5 baits I'm going to have ready to go. That's my top 5 for tomorrow. You ever rig a big worm on a biffle head? Yeah, the 3/4 ounce swing head, I have rigged a big worm on there. I have caught fish on it. I like the biffle bug better on it. My personal deal, that swing head, I think the biffle bug works better than the big worm does. I need you to come fish with me on my lake. It's a 2-hour drive or so from me. Hey, I'm open to that, but the deal is, I mean, this is what I do for a living, so I got to get paid. If you would like to book a guide trip and have me come fish a different lake with you and tell you my thoughts or break it down however you would like me to do, I'm open to something like that if you're interested in it, but it is my job. I would be upfront with you and tell you, hey, I don't know anything about that lake. Maybe I do. Maybe it's a lake I know. But I would tell you, hey, I don't know that lake, but I'm happy to help you any way I can. That's what I'm here for. So. How often will you recon different area lakes on video? You know, I don't really have a plan for it. It kind of, I just kind of wing it, you know, like, sometimes when I'm running guide trips, like when I'm fully booked on guide trips throughout the spring and everything, it's like almost all the videos that I did in March, April, May, June, all those prime months were on Fork because I'm just on Fork every day. And it's hard for me to go somewhere else. It's hard for me to take the time to plan a trip somewhere else with somebody in the boat to go video with and all that. As I get to the end of summer, I start taking a little bit more days off here and there, and that's when I start exploring a little bit. Now, in the fall, we're busy, but not as busy in the spring, it seems, so there may be some more exploration. I just try to keep the content fresh for you guys, honestly. I mean, I like fishing other lakes. I think it keeps me fresh as an angler, makes me better at what I do. So I try to go as often as I can, really. Yeah, 5 keepers. I see you saying let's talk. So, man, just give me a text or call anytime in the evenings after 6 p.m. is good for me on the phone. So whenever you're ready, give me a holler. Somebody keeps saying on Pickwick, some are shallow in the grass and some are still deep. Okay. I mean, that's... When you got a lake like Pickwick that has all the ledges it has and has all the grass that it has, those fish have options. And I would think that whether you knew it or not, there's probably always that situation going on where some are shallow and some are deep. So, thanks for the breakdown video. You're very welcome, man. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks for the feedback. Killed it today on the big perm and goat melon. Oh, that's what he called that Okeechobee looking color. It's goat melon. That's it. Big perm and goat. Where's my goat melon at? Where'd it go? There he is. It's goat melon right there. Oh, goat melon. A little bit of watermelon on the bottom, green pumpkin on top, and blue flake. Hashtag goat melon. I love it. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, man. Hey, thank y'all for all the patience and understanding the schedule's been crazy. How much longer will the shaky head bite last? Shaky head can be good throughout the year. I mean, it really can. You know, that big shaky head is something we throw religiously in the summertime out deep. You know, kind of starting in June, July, August. That's kind of the deal. It'll definitely last through September. Once I get to October, I kind of like to get that jig out deep in my hands, and I like those big spoons in October. So I kind of vary away from the big worm, you know, kind of at the end of September is usually the timing for me personally. But a shaky head is never a bad bait to throw. Guess what color swim jig they were biting in Florida today? What color swim jig in Florida? I'm going to guess it was a brim color. Grass mutant or something like that. If it's a 6-inch jig, maybe grass mutant, maybe a crawfish drone, something like that. Let me know. Now I got to keep going because I want to know the answer to that. What was it? Somebody says black and blue. Somebody's guessing a black and blue. That's never a bad color in Florida, that's for sure. All right, come on now. Who was it that Bob had in there? Hey, Steve, we need an answer. Black and blue. God, dog it. Wrong again. Mama's wrong again. No, you're wrong, Colonel Sanders. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, man. We'll be back with more information next week. Can't say how much I appreciate all you guys. I'm thinking about doing another lake breakdown for the Guides Network next week. Let me know what y'all think. Drop a comment below on that. And we may go to a different lake and break that down for what I look for in early fall, which is kind of starting to happen a little bit. Yeah, I guess that's it. 6 Cents Fishing. Punch in that code Your Lake Fork Guide. Get 10% discount on the checkout screen in the promo box. Smash Tech Baits. Go visit SmashTechBaits.com and get you some big perm. Oh, big perm. Get you some of that. And we'll see you guys next time right here on Your Lake Fork Guide.